Hi everyone, I'm Azin Zahedi. Today I'm going to talk about one of the most important built-in plugins in Ableton, a plugin that's incredibly powerful for sound design and music production, Analog. Honestly, as long as we have Ableton and its native devices, we usually don't even need third-party plugins, especially when it comes to learning proper sound design. Plugins such as Serum, Spire, Silent, Fab Filter, and so on are amazing, but you can already do so much with Ableton's native tools. In today's session, I'm going to show you how to create a kick, bass, and melody using only Analog. But before we start designing sounds, we need to break down the main component of Analog and understand what each section actually does. Section 1. Oscillators. Oscillator 1 and 2. Ableton Analog has two dependent oscillators. Each oscillator generates the raw waveform that becomes the foundation of your sound. 1. Shape or waveform type defines the harmonic content of the sound, the timbre. Analog offers sine or pure and no harmonics waveform. Triangle, Sawtooth, that is rich and bright. A square or a pulse, that is hollow and warm. Sound design use kick with sine, bass with saw, or a square lead with saw, often layered oscillator 1 and 2, pad with saw or pulse with filter with slow attack. The shape determines how much the filter and distortion will react. Saw reacts the most. 2. Level controls the output volume of the oscillator before the filter. Sound design use for a layered leads oscillator level 100%, oscillator level 2 70 to 90%. And for bass, use oscillator 1 only to reduce phase issues. 3. Balance, not always visible depending on routing. Control the balance of oscillator 1 to filter 1 and oscillator 1 to filter 2. If routing is split, this controls how much of the oscillator goes to each filter. And really needed for beginner patches, useful for complex textures or dual filter pads. 4. Octave shifts the oscillator by ±1 to 3 octaves. For sound design, use kick -2, bass -1, lead 0, pad 0 or +1. 5. Semi changes pitch in semitones, ±24 semitones. Creating layered intervals. We talked about intervals before. Making octave fifth layers. Kick pitch shaping, FM-like harmonic stacking. Example, lead layer, oscillator 1 semi equal 0, oscillator 2 semi equal +7 or perfect fifths. And 6 is detune, that is very important, adds a slight pitch offset for width. In analog, it's percentage, not cents. 0.10 to 0.404 subtle, 1 to 2% thick and wide, 3 to 4% detuned supersaw. And in sound design for a kick, 0%, bass 0 to 0.3%, never high. For the lead, 1 to 2%, for pad 2 to 4%. And 7. Noise adds noise layer or white noise to the oscillator. and it's used for attack and transient, for plugs, for snare, kick, top layers. And 8. Color, noise color. Shapes the noise spectrum, left equal darker and right equal bright hiss. And useful for percussion, plug, attack, brassy pads. 9. Pitch envelope. That includes initial time, pitch mode. Pitch envelope initial, how high the pitch starts before falling. Pitch envelope time, how fast the pitch drops. Pitch mode or amount. How strongly the envelope affects pitch. In sound design, kick, most important tool. Initial high, time fast, gives the thumb. Plugs, light pitch attack, leads a small upward movement. 10. Pulse width. Available only on pulse wave. Changes the width for the square wave. Changes harmonics. And used for classic analog leads, PWM pads, and warm basses. 11. Sub-sync. Adds a sub-oscillator, not always available for every shape. Hard sync the oscillator to the other oscillator's cycle. Creates aggressive digital timbre. And used for sync for tearing leads, sub for deep bass. 12. Key track. Controls whether pitch follows keyboard keys. 0% equal same pitch for every key, useful for kick. 100% equal normal keyboard behavior. And in sound design, for kick, key equal 0%, bass, lead, pad equal 100%. Section 2. Filters. Filter 1 and 2. Ableton Analog has 2 fully independent filters, 1 and 2. Each oscillator can be routed to either filter or both. This gives analog the flexibility of a real hardware analog synth. 1. Filter type. LP24, LP12, BP, HP, and notch. LP24 is a low-pass 24 dB octave. Used for modern EDM bass, warm analog leads, pads, removes high frequency aggressively, strong resonance peaks. And LP12 used for softer, smoother than LP24, good for plugs, good for progressive trance, more musical and less aggressive. And BP or band pass used for plugs, resonance strips, tight mid-focused leads, telephone or filtered textures. High pass or HP that is used for removing mood, airy pads, lead brightness, transition effects, and at last, notch useful hollow, phasey pads, moving textures, atmospheric sounds. In pro tips, LP24 equal strong character, LP12 equal warm, BP equal plucking king, HP equal shine, and notch atmosphere. 2. Output filter routing defines where the filtered signal goes to AMP1, AMP2, filter 2, parallel routing, and used for dual filter pads, LP in filter 1, HP in filter 2, serial distortion, filter routing, and complex textures. 3. Frequency and cutoff. This is the most important filter control. Controls where the filter begins cutting frequencies, and used in sound design for bass, low frequency 100 to 200 Hz, leads medium 1 to 6 kHz, pad low with envelope shaping, plug mid with fast decay, kick click high. Cutoff plus envelope equal the motion of the sound. 4. Reso, that means resonance, boosts the frequency at the cutoff point. Used for plugs, 25 or 40%, leads 10 to 25%, pads 5 to 15%, acid base 60 to 18%, kick and usually not recommended. Effects: more resonance equals sharper, more character. 5. Drive in circuit section. Adds analog style saturation before or after filter depending on model. Yes, filter depending on model. Used for bass +3 to +8 dB, leads 6 to 12, plug, low drive pads, low drive kick, mid drive for click. Drive adds harmonics and makes filters sound real and warm. 6. ATT vel, or attack velocity, controls how velocity affects the filter envelope. If set high, harder key pass equal brighter sound. If set low, sound stays same regardless of velocity. Good for expressive synths. Filter envelope, that is the heart of sound design. Envelope has attack, decay, sustain, start time, release, loop. This shape how cutoff changes over time. 7. Attack, how long it takes for the filter to reach full brightness after a note is played. For pads, slow attack 200 to 2000. For leads, low 10 to 30. For bass, 0 plug 0. Yes, that's millisecond. 8. Decay, how long the filter takes to fall after the reaching its peak. Plugs, short decay 80 to 200 millisecond, bass 100 to 300, lead 200 to 500, pad long decay, and then 9. Sustain, where the filter stays while key is held. For a plug, 0%, bass 0 to 15%, lead 50%, pad 80 to 100%. And 10. Stop time or sustain time, special analog feature, defines a time interval before release kicks in. Useful for shaping pad movement. 11. Release, how long filter stays open after key is released. Plug where short, bass short, lead medium, pad long. 12. Loop, filter envelope cycles like an LFO. Used for moving pads, rhythmic textures, experimental leads. And 13. Slope. Slope defines how steep the filter attenuates 12 dB oct, 24 dB oct, 48 dB oct if available. Use steep filters for EDM basses. 14. Key tracking. Cutoff follows pitch of keyboard. 0% no tracking, good for kick. 100% normal synth. 200% aggressive rising sound on higher notes. Bass 100%, leads 100, kick 0, pad 42, 70. And 15. Legato. If on filter envelope does not retrigger on overlapping notes, useful for glide basses. Section 3.